Hello, my name is Sana, and you just watched my Unreal level for my Unreal Engine lecture module. Here I'm going to explain to you what my level design is like, and some parts of the specifics that I have here going on. So here you can see my landscape design. I have deleted all the excess landscape that was around here, and I have assigned a landscape material, and you can see it here. We have ground materials and landscape material here. Oops, came to the wrong screen. And here you can see the materials that I had. I tried to blend them a little so that they would have a more detailed look, or more personal look, but I used the starter pack textures that came with this. And here you can see that this is the road material. To start previewing node, here's my road texture, here's my grass, and then here's the dirt road that I have for it. I even set the roughness high so that it wouldn't reflect too much light, so that it would look ground-ish. And I used the sculpt tool to make a park here. As you can see, the park has the grass material and the ground material that I used for, or with painting tools. And I also used foliage, only the bush here, but I customized the bush so that it has a mild wind effect. Since this game is based in New York, you can see the wind effect going on really lightly, since in the city you don't usually get too much wind. Then I guess I will show you the material for the bush. Here's the material. I used simple panner and sign to get the wind effect going on, so nothing major. I have my basic blueprints. So I have my level blueprint, where you have the first cutscene trigger, which can be seen over here. This is the trigger box. The first cutscene trigger makes the particle effect dissolve, and then triggers the cutscene where it shows the player where the player has to head, which is to this enemy AI that is standing here. Then there is the enemy mysteriously disappears. When the player is running away from the chasing enemy that is damaging the player, the enemy mysteriously disappears. And what I did for this was that I made it destroy the actor because I was planning on making it reappear somewhere so that the player would be scared. And this is the toggle visibility is for the particle effect that is behind the AI here. So when the player gets to this point, a new waypoint appears in the corner to show where the player can escape. And then there are the flickering lights that are going on. I wanted a semi-unnatural flickering light, so I used random float for the delay duration to make it flicker the way I wanted, and I put up a couple of them to show the ones that or to have some kind of atmospheric going on. And because the event tick was way too fast, way too rapid, I wanted some randomness in it, so a random float was perfect for it. And the rest here are just normal particle visibility ones, because I have a couple of waypoints here to show the player where to go and where to go. And basically it's this one just makes it disappear, and so does this. And then as far as blueprints go, I have the blueprint of the AI character, content browser, and in my enemy AI. So instead of using behavior trees and the blackboard, I went the simplest way. I found out that you could attach to the characters components. And there was a pawn sensing component which worked perfectly for my AI. And practically what I have done here is that the AI senses the player. You can see here that the AI has range. Practically this means that the AI sees everything that is in front of the AI for a certain radius, which is this yellow half circle here, where it can see the player, which is why when the player approaches from the behind, the AI does not budge yet, because a real person would not always notice that. And then the this is the AI move to, so basically this is just so that it chases through to the player, which is in here referenced as pawn. Then he will apply damage, and oh, I have a typo. And because I do not have familiarity how to attach animations to this, I simply made it print a string that says you have been damaged to indicate that the AI has hit the player for this. I have the cinematics, as I mentioned before. You could see in my video that there was a cutscene where you come here, and then there is the cutscene number 1. And as you can see here, I have a director group, and I have animation tracks for the 3 houses that changed around the player when the matinee happened. And as you can see here, the player looks around, the camera starts to roll, and then shows the player that here is the bad guy that you are supposed to see. And as you can see, I have all the animation tracks here, and the camera movement here as well. And then I have the lighting of the scene. I have the basic lighting from the lamps. I have put every lamp their own lighting spotlights full of them. I rendered these maps with Maya. It came a bit too low polygon than that I was hoping for, but I didn't realize it at the time. And as far as lighting goes, I have also a direction I like going, so it wouldn't be too dark, because otherwise it would be pitch black with a couple of spotlight spots. And yeah. And then as far as effects goes, I have really explosive and showy effects so the player knows where to go. And then I even put the spawn to spawn a lot of these items. I have the texture that I made for it, and then this is the material that I created for this particle effect to make it look like I wanted it to look like. And on this note, it obviously doesn't look how it does, but this is how it looks like at the end. And as post-processing, I simply added an audio. I edited it a little bit, but it was the starter content one, and the ambient sound was just starter music 01. And I used that, and I basically just fiddled around with the volume multipliers to make it sound a bit different than just straight from the package. And for the AI, I forgot to mention I have this green glowy area as an add mesh because I wanted the player to encounter it in one specific zone, and so that the player could just escape it from here. So this is my project for this. I wanted to make it really atmospheric and very nice. I have, and since it was a New York game, I just have blocks, heavy blocks, and to kind of show the ominousness, I made a material called Omnious Buildings, and I just fiddled around with the specular and roundness, and I found out that 1 and 1 were enough for this to make them look omnious as possible, because the player is supposed to kind of feel alone and kind of wander around and try to find this dude here. Thank you for watching, and hope you like this.